Stop, BMP!
The battle for the Ukrainian-held city of Bakhmut has been a focal point of Russia's war in recent months. The previous battle, however, a disproportionate share of the fighting and death on the part of the Russians was none other than Wagner's group. Wagner's group sent convict recruits to the Ukrainian fire on a sacrificial reconnaissance mission, he claimed. A private military organization headed by Vladimir Putin's ally Yevgeny Prigozhin assists the Russian military against Ukraine on the battlefield. Now, the Ukrainian army believes these convicts were used as cannon fodder. It has been reported that Wagner enlisted between 40,000 and 50,000 prisoners from prisons across Russia. In their February 12 update, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reported that Ukrainian rocket and artillery forces hit 14 temporary bases of Russian troops, ammunition depots, and anti-aircraft missile complexes. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian Air Force attacked the Russian troop temporary base at least 19 times and shot down Su-25 aircraft and Orlan-type unmanned aircraft. Ukrainian forces repelled Russian attacks near 11 settlements over the last 24 hours, including the Belohorivka and Serebryansky forest lands in Luhansk Oblast and Torsk, Fedorivka, Bakhmut, Ivanivsk, Chasiv Yar, Pervomast, Pobeda, Vuhledar, and Mariinka in Donetsk Oblast. According to the Ukrainian military, Russian troops carried out 12 missile strikes, 3 of which targeted civilian infrastructure in Kharkiv Oblast, 32 airstrikes, and more than 90 MLRS strikes targeting Ukrainian infrastructure. Russian troops also used mortars and artillery to shell the communities of Myropilya, Znobnovorodsk, and Shalihin, the Sumy Oblast Military Administration reported on February 11. No casualties or damage was reported. From February 24, 2022 to February 12, 2023, the Ukrainian Defense Forces eliminated around 137,780 Russian invaders and 900 people in the last day alone. As reported by Ukrinform, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine announced this on Facebook. Russia has suffered its biggest losses since the first week of its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. They concluded that the increase in Russian casualties was most likely due to a number of factors, including a lack of trained personnel, coordination and resources on the front lines, as exemplified by Vuhledar and Bakhmut. Meanwhile, there are growing signs that Russia's winter offensive in eastern Ukraine is underway. Ukraine's Defense Minister Alexei Reznikov said recently that his country expects a major attack around February 24, on the anniversary of the Russian invasion. Of course, we expected a Russian attack, because they like symbolism, said Reznikov. Ukrainian troops have managed to maintain defenses along the front in Donetsk, including the besieged town of Bakhmut, with heavy fighting raging in the towns of Vuhledar and Mariinka, Kyiv's military commander said on Saturday. Valery Zalushny did not specify where the gain was. He added that Ukrainian troops were trying to stabilize the front around Bakhmut, a town in the eastern Donbas region, which has been a focal point of Ukraine's resistance to the Russian invasion and Moscow's push to regain battlefield momentum. Yevgeny Prigozhin, the head of the Wagner mercenary group, acknowledged that his troops encountered fierce resistance in the vicinity of Bakhmut from Ukrainian defenders. He said it would take 2 years for Russia to fully control the Donetsk and Luhansk regions in eastern Ukraine, 2 areas Moscow says it has seized as key goals of the war. If we have to get to the Dnipro, it will take about 3 years, added Prigozhin, referring to the larger area that will extend into the broad Dnieper River that runs roughly from north to south, bisecting Ukraine. Russian troops had to take the Ukrainian fortress of Bakhmut in order to continue their campaign. The Ukrainian Air Force said the military downed 20 Shade drones during the night. Russia's defense ministry said that Friday's strike hit all of the designated targets, halting the operations of Ukrainian defense factories and hindering the delivery of Western supplies of arms and ammunition. Such claims cannot be independently verified. In another development, the governor of Russia's Kursk region along the border with Ukraine said a group of construction workers was hit by Ukrainian fire, which killed one of them and injured another. The governor of another Russian border region, Belgorod, reported a bombing in the town of Shebekino, saying it damaged 2 buildings, but no one was injured. Kirilenko reported that a Russian strike in Kostiantynivka province killed 4 civilians and injured 7 others in 24 hours. Russian rockets hit a residential area of the town of Chasiv Yar in Donetsk late on Friday, killing 2 people and wounding 5, the governor said. Donetsk province, whose territory is roughly divided between Russian and Ukrainian control, has been the epicenter of the war as Moscow tries to launch a months-long offensive to capture the town of Bakhmut. Chasiv Yar was located on a hill strategically located for the defense of Bakhmut and had been under intensive Russian attack. Capturing Bakhmut would allow Russian forces to disrupt Ukraine's supply lines and potentially pave the way for them to threaten Sloviansk and Kramatorsk, the largest Ukrainian-held cities in the country's east. Russian troops continued their ground offensive around Bakhmut and Avdiivka, another Donetsk city to the south, while Ukrainian troops launched attacks in southern and northeastern Ukraine, the Ukrainian military said in an update Saturday morning. The General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces said that Russian troops were holding themselves near Lyman in the Luhansk and Kharkiv provinces in the north of Donetsk, as well as in the Kherson and Zaporizhia provinces in the south. The fighting has been largely stalemate over the past few months, with winter conditions slowing ground operations and neither side reporting significant progress.